の谷間の暗闇に
Irvingman.
キラリと光る光の目
Irvingman.
安らぎ
If one studies the episode title even without speaking Japanese, the word camera seems to stand out. That's because a young colleague of Takaji's named Nobuo is showing a picture of a UFO to Takaji and several other boys.
すげえ本当かな俺にも見せてよどれどれ俺にもこれ絶対嘘だよなどうせまたインチキ写真なんだろ騙されやしないぞでも本当に写したんだもんこんなボロカメラで写せるわけがないだろそうだよ
They insist it's fake and accuse him of lying. They say he couldn't take a picture like that with his beat-up old camera anyway. As usual, Takaji is leading the parade to accuse and berate the boy. What is Takia teaching this kid? Speaking of whom, Takia and Hitami are approaching. She's a professional photographer. Let's ask her.
これ見てあれ
すげえ UFO だ
インチキ写真だと思うんだけどそうねこれは合成写真だわよく見てこの UFO はお皿よ
Busted. The boys are angry.
待て待てよ待てよインチキ写真なんか見てやがってよそうだよ
やめろ乱暴はいけないよ
よこせ二度とインチキできないようにしてやるえいあ逃げろ
Knocking him down and half a dozen of them kicking him is just dirty. Again, what is Takia teaching his little brother? And throwing his camera like that could lead to criminal charges if Nobuo and his family really wanted to push it. Instead, Hitami and Takia will take him home, get him cleaned up, and have a talk with him. The camera may not be repairable.
びっくりカメラ殺人事件
Candid camera murder incident. Our show is getting serious in its old age. Hitami empathizes with Nobuo wanting to be a great photographer.
まあ現像書じゃないの手作りね信夫くんが作ったのすごいわ
信夫君写真が好きなんだ
信夫くん写真が好きな人がどうしてインチキ写真作ったりしたの本当にカメラ愛してる人だったらそんなことしないはずよ
He went to all the effort of building his own darkroom, but he's going about the rest all wrong. You don't become a photographer by faking your pictures. He wanted to prove to the kids that he could capture something amazing. He says the camera is an heirloom from his father, but the other kids make fun of it because it's old and weathered.
でもね信夫くんカメラはすごい写真を撮るのが目的じゃないわ真実を写すものなのよカメラのレンズはね写す人の目と同じよ
You don't use a camera to take incredible pictures, you use it to capture truth. Wow, that's an amazing sentence.
はい貸してあげる大丈夫信夫くんの目はまだ澄んでるわその目が曇らない限り本当の写真が写せるわ
本当
うん
Yeah, go ahead and use it. She has others. He's more grateful than she could have imagined.
ありがとうありがとうひとみ先生
先生ですって
僕を弟子にしてください
弟子
すごいじゃないか信夫君一番でした頑張れよ
はいはい行ってきます
Although she does make enough to live on, we know Hitami is still in the early stages of her own career. Under ordinary circumstances, it'd be a little premature to take on an apprentice, but how could she resist that smile? Not to mention being called sensei. With this awesome, professional quality camera she's loaning him, he's all over the city taking pictures of you name it. If he's an apprentice, isn't the sensei supposed to go with him and show him the ropes? He wanders into a complex where there's a manufacturing plant, as well as an enormous pile of junk metal. He's having fun taking pictures of all the weird shapes and stuff.
現代文明の象徴だな。なんて難しいこと言っちゃって。
Yep, he just took a picture of a cold-blooded murder. And it's no surprise who appears next.
どうも素振りがおかしいと思ってたら産業スパイでした。
とんでもないやつが紛れ込んだものね。で、工場の秘密には気づいたのかしら。
そこまでは気づいてなかったみたいですな。
そう、それはよかったわ。
Stay put and stay quiet, kid. Do not try to slip away while they're still standing there.
少しでも怪しいやつはすぐに片付けるに限るわ。
Never mind.
大変だ大変だ人殺しだ大変だ人殺しだ
When the police get there, there's no sign of any body or anything else. The shooter is the president of the company and a big man in town, so he's laughing the whole thing off.
ノブオ、お前って子はインチキ写真を撮っただけで気が済まず、こんなひどい嘘までつくようになったのかい？
母さん僕本当に
お黙り！
まあまあ、子供というのは騒ぎを起こして注目を浴びたいという心理があるもんですよ。
Even his mother won't believe him. Yeah, that happens when you fake one too many pictures.
これ、ノブ謝りなさい！
そうだこのカメラだ僕写真を撮ったんだこのカメラに映っているはずだカメラは嘘をつかないぞ
They're both thinking the same thing. If he's telling the truth, he shouldn't have said that out loud. He just made himself a target.
ぜひ見せてもらいたいね。
Yeah, I'll bet you'd like to see it. See it destroyed, that is.
できてるかな。
I used to do this. In total darkness, you take the film out of its case, and there's a thing inside that canister that you can actually wind the film onto. It holds the film in a spiral so no part is touching any other. Once you put that in the canister and close the lid, you can turn the light on. Pour your developing chemicals into a special opening, swish things around a little, go get a snack, come back, swap some chemicals, go get a snack, come back, and your film is done. All you do from there is hang it up so it can dry. Unless someone sets the place on fire, then you leave it right where it is and go deal with the situation. It's just a pan fire. Takio will put it out with a fire extinguisher. And then Hitami will put him out with a bucket of water. That's how it works, right? Really, for one thing, he already had the fire out. For another, it's just as well the water hit him instead of the pan, because you don't throw water on that kind of fire. There's a double benefit. Not only does he go chase that guy as Spiderman, it gets him out of his wet clothes. That's a clever move, tossing it over the wall to her like that. Especially since Spider-Man didn't see it, so he thinks he's still chasing the guy with the film. That was our machine bem for today, but we don't know anything about him yet. We did just learn something important for the first time. The Birdmen are robots. I often wondered how the Iron Cross Army managed to recruit so many foot soldiers. Well, they don't. They build them. The Amazoness is showing the picture to Professor Monster so he can get his screen time for the week. It captured the moment of the shot perfectly.
この男、私が手なずけました。会社を10いくつも経営し、町内会長、PTA 会長も務める町の名士ですが、実は金儲けのためなら何でもする強欲の男です。
I could have told you that just by looking at his behavior, even if he hadn't already murdered someone. Anybody who heads up multiple big companies like that is someone who worships money. And he's built an effective facade as a great community leader and humanitarian.
あの土地はスクラップガス製造に必要な有毒ガスが噴き出す土地として目をつけたのではありませんか。
そうであった。
街中に秘密工場を作るからには二重三重に守りは固めてあります。万が一スパイダーマンが気づいてもその時はすでに手遅れです。
というと、
スクラップガスの実験に成功したのです。ご覧ください。
They're making scrap gas. Spraying it on a car turns the car into a junk pile. Scrap metal. Scrap gas. Get it? The plan is to spray Tokyo with it once they have enough.
本当に火事になりかけたんです。その間に肝心なフィルムを盗まれたんです。
校長先生、本当なんです。あれは確かに誰か鉄のような手をしたものは火をつけたんです。
奥さん、あなたまでお子さんに似てきましたね。何でも妙な話にすり替えられる。
今度私たちも証人なんですよ。
Mr. President doth protest too much, methinks. He starts berating Nobuo for other pictures he took, candid shots that could be embarrassing for some of the people around the table. How did he get them? And why isn't one of them asking that question? The film was stolen, so it seems to me whoever has the pictures from it is probably the stealer.
この子は少年の腐った大嘘つきです。
Dude, you say something like that about my kid to my face, you'd best be ready to defend your face.
違う。嘘つきは社長さんだ。大人の方が嘘つきだ。僕の撮った写真は本当なんだぞ。絶対に本当なんだぞ。バカバカバカ。
ノブオ君、
砂はずるいぞ。みんな卑怯だ。汚いよ。
He's not wrong. He caught all those big important people in some compromising positions without intending to, but rather than deal with their issues, they're going to squelch him and label him a rotten liar. Teaser, Mr. President will get his comeuppance, and when he does, you're gonna love it.
ノブオ君、僕は君を信じるよ。
スパイダーマン。
君が見たという真実、君がカメラに撮ったという真実、必ずスパイダーマンが突き止めてみせよう。
スパイダーマン。
Well done, young man. You squeezed out one tear if you never produce another. We could see that he worked hard for that one. As it so often happens, he just needs one person to believe him. And what a person. Spiderman is off to Tomita Manufacturing to find the Iron Cross Army.
リンダーではない。あの人たちには怪しいところはない。
The problem is, all the people he's scanning are people, not birdmen. Mr. President pulls up in a fancy pink car and even he passes the scan. No Iron Cross Army guys in this area.
アマゾネス様、いろいろ面倒で困っています。もっと手当てを弾んでくれませんか。
バカ者、スパイダーマンが入り込んでいるんだ。キョロキョロしないで普段と同じように社長らしく振る舞ってなさい。
は
She has a strategically placed camera that she can use to follow Spider-Man's movements.
第一種石器、機械を止めろ。スパイダーマンの耳は 100メートル先に落ちた針の音も聞き取ると言われている。静かにしろ。
I don't remember Spider-Man ever having super hearing, but today he does. In one of my favorite bits of goofiness, she'll keep making noise telling the others to be quiet. Nothing like telling him what he wants to know. Those darts are characteristic Iron Cross Army. If she had stayed quiet, he might have eventually decided they aren't here. Never mind.
隠しカメラだ。こいつで見てたんだ。
That takes care of that. Still, she does need to know where he is, so he'll find a different way to let her know.
スパイダーマンだ。反響ノートで探っているぞ。
And it only took him 4 times to figure out that he could use a tool instead of skinning his knuckles.
ノボくん、あ、先生、こうなったら僕たちも調べに行こうよ。
鉄十字団がいるかもしれないんでしょ。
嘘をついてないことを証明したいんだ。
ごめんなさい。鉄十字団だけは。
Yeah, Hitami kind of has an intense personal history with the Iron Cross Army, considering the editor she trusted turned out to be the Amazoness.
思い出しただけでももうダメ。ひとみさん、あなたそれでも先生なの？じゃあしんこさんこそ言ったら？いやよ、私はまだ死にたくないわ。
やっぱり女はダメだな。
Oh, you can depend on girls sometimes. It's a question of what you want them to do. Teach you to take pictures? Sure. Go infiltrate an Iron Cross Army den? Nope. He'll climb the fence and go do it himself. Meanwhile, that machine bem has been stalking Spider-Man.
第二種石器。スクラップマン攻撃。
Our machine bem is Scrapman. No, I didn't say Scatman, I said Scrapman. This one doesn't have a mustache. He's made from various bits of junk, then someone decided to paint a toothy smile on him just to make him look really goofy.
第三種石器。スクラップガス攻撃開始。
I thought they were supposed to attack all of Tokyo. 3 little bottles is gonna do that? That was just one of several questions I have. Why do the bottles have such cheap valves that one breaks that easily? How did flashing in the one dude's eyes blind all of them? And finally, why is Nobuo using a flash in broad daylight? Not that Spider-Man is complaining.
ノボ君、さあ来い。ノボ君、早く逃げろ。
Yes, you have the picture to prove he's a bad guy. Now get out of here so you can live to show it to somebody.
カメラのレンズは真実を見る瞳。曇りなき瞳を信じる男。スパイダーマン。
やっと持ち出した一本だ。スクラップガスの餌食にしてやれ。
Yep, it's fight time. We have the usual fare, and then we get this.
の目
They used that same effect earlier, and it's the first one I've come across that I can't buy. The way his arms and legs are flailing, he's obviously falling down and trying to balance himself. Running the film backwards only emphasizes that. If he were jumping up, he'd be stretched out like an Olympic diver reaching for the structure above him. I don't know how else they could have done the jump, but this doesn't work. We went through 34 episodes before I had to say that. Not bad. Scrapman isn't a very good aim with that hose either. He keeps melting Birdmen. Yeah, that's Mr. President with his trusty pistol. He and Scrapman are trying to follow Spider-Man as he skitters all over the walls and equipment. I told you were going to love his comeuppance. He knew he was overweight, but this new scrap gas diet reduced him to skin and bones, except for the skin. It's time for Scrapman to grow, Spider-Man to call Marveler, and Sword Vigor to make him go kaboom.
いくよ。
世の中の不正、大人の偽善を見抜く子供の目がある限り、鉄十字団には負けない。そうだ、この子たちのためにも平和を守らなければならない。戦え、スパイダーマン。
ノブロク、早く早く。ああ。
American television in the 70s avoided violence with a drive that bordered on mania. Not so Japan. While the Super Friends and others were helping people in finding non-violent ways to stop alien invasions, this show gives us all of that plus plenty of fight and battle action. To my knowledge, watching it never warped a single little personality. While Superman and Batman were picking flowers to shove in the bad guys' faces and make them sneeze, Spider-Man was kicking butts up and down Tokyo. I do enjoy the Super Friends, which we examine on Wednesdays, but every so often you just want to see your hero let loose and hit something, you know?
闇深く響く地獄の足音模様の下眠る父よ胸に秘めた非常の定めさらば友よ誓いの友よ俺はただ一人俺はただ一人
Takia and Hitami are